Hey everybody, so 2024 was a pretty interesting year. In January, we of course had the Lunar New Year event. Unfortunately, no new golds for this year, but overall, wasn't that great in my opinion. Honestly, January wasn't that big of a year in general. You didn't really have much going on in general. We of course had the team contracts event in February. This was kind of when Tanki started adding events every single month. You get a lot of stuff for free in this event, and unfortunately there was like a 700 tank coin event pass to get in. Luckily, Tanki started removing these for a lot of different events. In March, you had the Sakura Blossom event. Tanki really went off this year with the different events. This one unfortunately did have a 700 tank coin pass to get in as well. All these events are kind of pretty darn similar in terms of what you get. You do missions, you can buy event currency to get different augments and rewards. April Fools was of course in April. Honestly, probably one of the worst April Fools we've had. Not worst in total, but not as good as normal ones. The last really fun April Fools event, I believe, was in 2021, in my personal opinion. We haven't really had that great of an event since. You obviously had the Tanks in Space minigame there in April. It wasn't that bad. You had some new RT skins like Wasp and Ricochet. You could also get some old skins. This one wasn't that bad, but Tanki still had the old system, so the only real way to get all these new items was by spending a ton of money. You had the Build and Fight in May, which was again another event. Tanki really went off this year with events that they made. Unfortunately, the events usually cost around 700 tank coins, and they all give you relatively similar rewards. Like they give you augments, skins, but I think these events are really awesome for getting certain items that you really want. For Tanki's birthday, you had the cool new gift where the amount of years you spent in Tanki Online would give you a certain amount of prizes. I got a ton of different skin containers, and then I collected a bunch of stuff on all my different accounts. Overall, a ton of nice rewards, and honestly, probably the best Tanki birthday in a while. You of course had the Tanki Fund in June, which again was another failure. The Tanki Fund hasn't done well in over a year now. It's just been bad. I don't know what they need to change. Hazel doesn't really want to change much, but yeah, they're not that great. You had the Cyber Tank minigame in July, which Tanki ended up changing the way the minigames work, so you can buy contracts now, and this was by far the easiest minigame to complete. You of course only had the GT skins as the last skins that you could get, which kind of sucks. The easiest minigame had the worst skins in my opinion, but they've kind of changed this since, and it hasn't been that great. You obviously had the Memo minigame in August. Not an awful event. I honestly quite enjoyed it. It wasn't too hard to complete. I think I only spent around 2,500 tank coins and maybe a few 100,000 crystals to complete the entire thing. It was an overall pretty darn nice event. I don't believe there was an event pass to get in for this one. Actually, there could have been. I don't really remember. In September, grenades were added to the game. We haven't had any new grenades added since, apart from the holiday-themed grenades, but I think we're getting some new grenades here very, very soon. But yeah, 2 years to finally reveal grenades, and we finally got them, and it'll be interesting to see how they work in the future. In September, you had the Assemble a Tank minigame, which was brought from the year prior. Basically, you just assemble a tank with different rewards. And then you had the Dictator Steampunk skin, which was a really, really nice skin. So this overall wasn't a bad event either. You had the Battleship event in October, which I think was probably the hardest event to complete. You know, at first you had the whole thing where everyone was finding the different maps, so everyone was able to get basically every reward, and then they fixed that. And then after that, it was basically really, really hard to get any event or anything you really wanted in the event. You had the Halloween minigame in October, and I think the Halloween event was pretty all right. It wasn't amazing, but in general, I think the Halloween event was much better this year than it was last year, and you know, I'll give Tanki props for that. Also, Shaft Demonic looks pretty nice as well. You also had Shaft HD come out around the exact same time, so it kind of took a little bit away from Shaft Demonic overall, but in general, it was a pretty good event. You had the Freezer games there in November. That was only a month ago now. You, of course, could get Freeze Ice if your team won. My team didn't win. I mean, I was able to get every single reward in the minigame apart from, you know, the Freeze Ice skin for relative ease, only like a few thousand rubies, which is pretty nice. You also had rubies being added to the game. You also have the Tanki Fund, which, as you guys know, was a complete freaking failure, which kind of sucks. I mean, I don't know. The Tanki Funds are just not that great anymore. And then here we are, the new rubies added to the game there. You could buy some stuff with rubies now instead of tank coins. You had Hornet XT HD in December, which again is a really, really nice skin. You can get it from containers currently if you want to get them, and then at the end of the year, currently going on right now is the Snow Trap minigame. You can only go forward one, but there's a decent amount of good rewards. The new GT hammer skin actually looks not that bad. It's probably the best GT skin we've gotten. But yeah, that's everything that happened this year. Honestly, when you look back at it, not a ton has happened other than, you know, the release of Tanki Classic, and then you have a good amount of new events and then grenades as well. So overall, not that bad of a year. You guys will have to let me know what you guys thought of this year. Do you think it was a big year in terms of Tanki? I'd say the biggest announcement we had all year was by far Tanki Classic. But yeah, don't forget to use code Taspens. I'll see you on a future video. Peace out.